there, mateys. I figured it's time to give you a mid-August update anyway of living on the boat and at the marina. Of course, we've been dealing with a lot of heat. July was probably one of the hottest months on record for I don't know how long, at least up here on the Chesapeake Bay and Rock Hall, Baltimore area. And then, of course, the thunderstorms that are rolling through and the rain. Got to deal with that. It's all part of the experience. Well, my garden really didn't turn out that well. You know, I bought the tomato plant. Cost me, I think, $1.25 for the tomato plant. I got a handful of cherry tomatoes off of that, not even a basket that you can buy in the store for $2. I don't think I made out on that one. Next year, I don't think I'm going to do tomatoes. But the thyme and the basil, those are doing good, so I'm going to keep up with that. Even though it was hotter than heck and there wasn't a lot of wind, we did cruise over to Fells Point for a few days. And I mean, it was hot. Sherry had to take to the cushion and a fan to keep herself cool. By the time we got over there, the cabin was 98 degrees. It was cooler up here. I tried to tell her that, but she wanted to be below with the fan, or with the, you know, little hand fan, so okay. We did try a little bit of upwind sailing. You know, I installed a wind track, Davis Instrument wind track, and I've never had an instrument before, a wind instrument like that. I don't have any other wind instrument. But I tell you what, having that made it a lot easier, even though there wasn't a lot of wind, made it a lot easier to raise the sail and especially lower the sail. Now we did get the sail a little bit in there, so we got a little bit of upwind practice. And then, you know, we just had a lot of family things going on. We had we had graduation, Becky out in Wisconsin. We had birthdays, Teddy and Fulton, and then we had Junior Olympics fencing in Philadelphia with our granddaughter Addie, and she did pretty good. I mean, you know, for her first time out, I thought she did really well. So we've been busy with a lot of family things. But here at the marina, my boat neighbor Dan, I put a post on this earlier, we went out and checked a few things out. We saw dolphins on the bay, and later that week, we were talking with some guys. They were just standing by the dinghy rack here looking out at the bay, and they saw dolphins in there. So I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, it's good. The water's clean and fresh, I guess, or better. The fishermen aren't real happy with it because they're hurting the fish and having a feast. And then, of course, you got the sunsets here on North Point Marina. I mean, we're right on the bay. Sunsets are gorgeous. I know sunsets are beautiful everywhere, but this is really nice. I mean, you just step off the boat, you're right there to them. It's gorgeous. And at North Point, every a couple times a year, they have entertainment for the motel and the slip holders and their guests. So that's always a fun time. Oh, what wasn't fun though, when we came back from New Jersey, our air conditioning wasn't working. The pump went out, the raw water pump. Well, I mean, you know, we got 95-degree days. We weren't going to stay on the boat in that kind of heat, but I had some projects I wanted to do. So this was a good opportunity. We loaded up all of Sherry's stuff, and we went to Virginia, and I dropped her off there, and that happens to be where I had the little window air conditioner that I had before I put the reverse cycle in, and that just sits in the companionway. Well, it was going to be 4 or 5 days before the pump came in, so that little air conditioner made a big, big difference. It was very, very helpful. The pump is installed now, and it's working great. The air conditioning is good. Whew, thank goodness. But some of the projects I've been working on, I'm trying to color coordinate things as I replace things. Like I needed a new mainsail cover. So I got some fabric and I sewed that. Now I just have to wait for the twist snaps to lock it underneath. But I also made new covers for the winches, and it looked pretty easy. I took one of the old ones, I took it apart. I said, oh, this isn't going to be too hard. And I used those parts and I made a template. So this is what I made. And inside it has the elastic that holds it in place. But I gotta tell you guys, sewing around, that was a lot more difficult than I thought. Plus, this is umbrella fabric and it's very stiff right now. I don't know, maybe it would have worked out better if I would have washed it first. I don't know that much about this stuff to do that, but I'm very happy the way this turned out. Then I made a new cover for the GPS and the compass, and I had to order a little bit more to make for my Bimini here to finish that off. That's a faded blue, so I'm going to put that in on the tan. I put some new batteries in. They weren't hard to put in, it's just expensive, you know. I put the AGMs in. But I'm real happy with that. And then, you know, some preventive maintenance. I checked the belts on the engine. They look good. They're over 5 years old. I'm thinking maybe I better replace them just to be on the safe side and keep these as backup. So that's one of the projects I'm going to do. And I haven't been flying the drone a lot, but I figured, you know, I got to get up and fly it once in a while or I'm going to forget how to. So I flew that around the marina here, and that was nice. Got some nice video and some pictures of the marina. Oh, yeah, and two, I bought some FIDs to splice double braided line. So this is my first attempt, and I think it did all right. I mean, everything is covered and it looks good. You know, you just use these things here to make it with, and watched a couple videos on. But one of the things I think that would be a lot easier is I'm using old line. I mean, this stuff is stiff. It's hard to work with. In the videos, they use brand new line. You know, they push on it, it opens right up, everything is nice and smooth. I just wanted to practice this, and I don't think I'm gonna splice old line again. It's too difficult to work with. You got to really force all that stuff to get in there. I even tried washing it first to soften it up. Helped a little bit, but it was still really tough to do. But I think I did all right with that. And the other preventive maintenance things, of course, you know, we're really working the electric with the air conditioner. So I checked my shore power cords on the pier and on the boat. On the pier, it's still the twist lock, and those can come loose a little bit, but they're in good shape. But last year I put the smart plug in on the boat. That doesn't move at all. I mean, I feel very comfortable with those in because they lock on the two sides and they lock down, so I know they're not going anywhere. And I know a lot of you guys are going to say, yeah, but it's a matter of how much amperage you're drawing to it. You know, they overheat. Well, that's what the circuit breakers are for, I think anyway, on the panel, not to allow that to happen, or the circuit on the shore power. I'm sure it does happen. I've seen a lot of burnout cables. But the smart plug, I like that. It's easy to plug in and it works really well. And I checked the anchor rod, you know, pulled it out, washed it off, cleaned it up, got that all set up, washed the boat, and I didn't wax it. I mean, it's a little too hot for me to be waxing, but I did scrub and wax. Oh, I also put a shade cover on the hard top. Again, my boat neighbor Dan had given me some old shade cover that he had, and I was able to make that. when I was putting that on, I happened to notice that the hard Dodger I built just a few years ago, I made it out of wood. I used penetrating epoxy on it, and I thought it was going to be pretty good, but I've got a lot of dry rot on that, so I think I'm going to have to redo that. And what I'll probably use is a product called Nitacore. Stay tuned, I'll fill you in on how that goes. It's not that expensive. A 4x8 sheet is only like 50 bucks, but having it shipped is the big cost. I haven't ordered it yet, so I don't know what it's going to cost to ship it. But it's probably not going to be cheap because it's a big piece. They're going to score it and roll it because I'm going to be putting fiberglass over it anyway, so scoring it is not going to hurt it. It's not going to deteriorate the structure of it from what I was told on the company I'm buying it from. Like I said, stay tuned. We'll see what happens. And that's really about it, guys. You know, it's been too hot to really do too many things. Hang out at the pool a little bit, but I'm not much of a pool person, neither is Sherry. But we're still, you know, having a good time at the boat. When it cools off a little bit, we go for our walks and we're enjoying our time. So until next time, happy and safe boating to you, your family, and friends.